All right, welcome everybody. The Excellence in Podcasting Network, been gone for a little while. Welcome back to the big show. My name's Ken Nowitzki, and this is Into the Storm. On a Saturday afternoon, all kinds of things have transpired since the last time we've had a chance to sit down together and hang out and kind of get through the world's problems together and personal things. And I'd like to start off the show here with the fact that things change. They always change. They don't stop changing, and there's not really much you can do as you work your way through this amazing journey called life to stop the change. As you get older, you can see that you start losing things. And I've told my kids this. I've told a lot of my former players this. I've told some of my coworkers this, the people that work underneath me, that the older you get, the more you lose things. You begin to lose not necessarily your mind, but you lose things that mean the most to you. When you're in your 20s and 30s, man, things are great. And I always tell people when they're young and maybe they've got young children and their parents are around and in many instances their grandparents are around, you should definitely enjoy those times, because you get around 45 years old, you start to lose things and they go away. And there's not really a whole lot you can do. It's just part of the natural progression of this amazing journey called life. You lose your grandparents, you lose your parents, you start to lose some of your aunts and uncles, and you start to realize that no matter what happens, the world's going to keep on pressing forward. But you start to lose those little pieces of the foundation that are your family, your friends. You get a little bit older, you start losing your friends. And then you get to your 50s, you're very fortunate if your mom and dad are around. Very rarely will you see your grandparents. You start losing cousins and in all that time you lose cats and dogs and pets, and you start to realize how precious life is, because at 30, 20, you're pretty much invincible. Around 40, you start to realize that I'm not invincible. There's a lot of things that are out here, and you start paying attention to the little things, knowing that somewhere down the road, you're going to probably become another statistic. It sounds really gray and gloomy, but you're not invincible, and you know it. You're not going to live forever. I just turned 54, and hell, I've lost all of my parents with the exception of one, my stepmom, who's 90, and she's amazing, a little spitfire. Gets around, does everything. I've got my wife's mom, Bev, is amazing, beautiful, incredibly intelligent woman, and I feel incredibly blessed to have them in my life. But my mom and dad biologically are gone, and I still got some amazing aunts and uncles. I've started losing cousins. I've lost, of course, my grandparents. So the key to this journey is really appreciating the things that you have while you have them, and piss on politics and all that other noise. And we'll talk a little bit of politics later, but it's more in the common sense realm of, where we are, I feel, as a republic and maybe locally. But, today I just opened up my Facebook. Things change. I have not been on social media a great deal the last 3-4 weeks. And the reason being is because I got a new job. I'm off the road now for the most part. I'm not doing the monster truck or motorsports hosting anymore. My wife had asked me to be around a little bit more on the weekends, and she's by far the most precious thing in my world. And so I spoke with Jimmy Cretin at 2X Monster Trucks Live, and I kind of told him that I was going to probably be coming off the road, and we needed to work with some people to try to get that position filled. And so as life goes on, you realize when you're on the road, that entertainment group, the 2X Monster Trucks Live family, and it is a family. We're all out there together. We break bread together. Such an amazing part of my life, and a lot of them are my best friends, Jimmy and Dawn. They are absolutely family to me. They might not be blood, but they're blood. They're absolutely blood, and they could call on me whenever they need me, and I will drop things and go help them. But the reality is, it's time for me to start being around a little bit more as a husband. I've been on the road for a long time, and I had a great opportunity fall into my lap. A headhunter called me, and it's a great job, and I get to be more of a coach, a general sales manager, and work with a team, which I absolutely love. Anybody who's ever played for me knows that that's kind of my wheelhouse, and it's where I think that I can add value. And we're going to do that. We're going to give this a shot. We're going to make this happen. The company I work for is a great company. It's a very healthy company. It's growing leaps and bounds. It's in the, uh, you know, restoration industry. And I feel very thankful to have this opportunity. We're looking to the future, and I'm all in 100%. But things always change. They will change. They do change. And this is another big thing, So, uh, got on Facebook this morning, and I read that one of my very good friends, somebody that we grew up with, a mighty Riverview Ram, an amazing friend, a great father, a great brother, a great husband, a great congressional, leads a congregation uh, leader, passed away. And after reading through the comments in my shock, I realized it was cancer. And if there's one thing I would ever ask the Lord for outside of unbelievable health for all of my family and friends and the good people that are always in my atmosphere is that, man, if we could find a cure for this, that would be fantastic. It would be amazing. And I hope President Trump is right. I hope there's a cure right around the corner. But out of all the things I hold him to, that's not one of them, only because it's a friend of mine once told me works in the labs. He's a scientist, Andre. He said it's an amazingly beautiful, however ugly disease. It's a challenge, but that was 20 plus years ago. And with AI and the breakthroughs that we have, there's always the hope. And man, I hope, man, do I hope that they can find a cure for this bullshit, because I'm so tired of losing my friends and family to this disgusting disease. And man, that would just be awesome in my lifetime, even if it's in my dying breath, to hear that they found a cure for cancer. I could go home and know that a lot of people won't be feeling the pain that so many of us have with the loss because of this disgusting disease. But, change is inevitable. It's going to happen. And to lose Oliver, who played high school football with all of us, freshman, JV, varsity, went on to be a United States Marine. When you talk about people that I was going to say the University of Riverview, because if you've ever went to Riverview High School and seen the fact that they've got a nuclear science lab, a planetarium, it's like a university. You'd realize it's definitely a big loss for our community. The class of 88, 89, 90, we were all very close, and they were the days before cell phones, so we actually had to interact with one another and love each other and look out for each other and go hang out at the mall together. And it wasn't perfect, but it was a lot better than it is today, man. These social media and these phones have literally taken kids' ability away in many instances to be able to communicate and function and live at the depths that we lived, in the 80s and the early 90s, late 70s. It's just a whole different, we're just built different. It's just all there is to it. And there are great days that we can never go back to, but I'd love to, but when you start to lose people of Oliver Sears' caliber, and you see all of the notes on Facebook, and you see all of the nice things that were written, you realize that he had a huge impact. Now, I personally haven't seen Oliver in many, many years, but the impact that he had on me, if you know, I'm a former football player, kicker, punter. Some people would say that's not a football player, but I took my licks before I got to that. That's how I figured out I was good at that. And I thought, I'm not going to get the living hell beat out of me all the time if I don't have to. And he was my holder. And if you know anything about being a place kicker, your holder is by far one of the most important people in your entire life. And I could go through and name all of mine. Larry Kennedy was one. Tyrone Leverett was one. Oliver Sears was one. Augie Hubbard was one. Marty Schumacher was one. Corey O'Neill was one. And Jamie Pass was one. Those were my holders. Those were my main guys. And the relationship that you have with them is second to none. And watching Oliver grow up and build a congregation and be a United States Marine and a good father and an amazing husband, it sucks. Waking up and seeing that breaks my heart. But I love him. We lift up Oliver to the Lord, and we pray for strength for his family and for all of his friends and everybody that knew him, because Oliver was great. And man, I'm just so tired of losing friends. But is part of the path, and we're going to lose a lot more. So that's why I always tell you guys to really focus in on the things that matter the most, because you don't ever know what's going to happen, or you don't know what tomorrow holds. I always tell my team that tomorrow is a journey, it's a mystery, and a lot of it's what you make it. Um, but you just don't ever know. There's much bigger power players involved in this. So that's what's been going on. Wrapped up my 2X Monster Trucks Live professional career, and I'll do an occasional show for them here and there. If they're in Illinois or Iowa or somewhere in the Dakotas, and I can get there on a Friday after work in the Van Juicy, my Sprinter van, and camp out, I'd love to touch base and see the family, but it won't be an every weekend thing. And in the future here, not too far, and if you're a monster truck fan, I'm going to give you my synopsis of the entire industry, from Hot Wheels to Monster Jam to 2X to all of the tours that are out there, where it is, in my opinion. It's very important. It's my opinion. And I don't know everything, but I've been, fortunate to be at the top at Monster Jam. I've been at the top at Hot Wheels, and I've been at the top with some of the smaller promoters. And I've got an opinion in this. I'm going to let everyone know where I think the sport is, the industry is, and if you're a monster truck fan and you appreciate motorsports, I'd love to put that on the tee so we could tee it up and knock it out of the park, because that is absolutely something that I've been very close on the inside with. I've got thousands of friends that are on my social media that know me from that, and I can pull the curtain back and let you guys know exactly what's going on, what I think, why I think it, and where I think the future goes, which I think is pretty bright. I really do. I think it's pretty bright. And like I said, it's still part of who I am. I've still got the George Eisenhart tattoo on my ankle from the Monster Nationals. God rest his soul. It's definitely a gigantic part of who I am, the motorsports hosting. So only the good Lord knows where that leads. So be thankful, be resilient, be aware, and no matter where you're at, if your mom and dad are still with you, always take that call. Always take the call. Tell them you love them, even if you're not that person. No, piss on that. You tell them how much you love them, and it's not smooshy, it's not goofy, it's real. And these are the days where we need to be real. We need to let people that we know we love them. I tell a lot of my friends I love them. Sometimes they look at me like, what's this bitch doing and love me? No, I do. There are some people, if I tell you I love you, it's because you are somebody that is a pillar in who I am. And I love you, and it means everything to me, because you might not see me tomorrow, or I might not see you tomorrow. And so if I tell you I love you, it's not just like, yeah, I love you, you're great. No, I do love you, and it means everything to me. There's a handful of people I say that to, and when I do, that means they're very special to me. Not having brothers and sisters, that almost puts you into the brother-sister category, and you're stuck with me. So live with it. It's just the way it goes. So, we get through all of the local stuff. I'm not a new gig, and I want you guys to be thankful. Always be thankful here at Into the Storm. We're going to go into the storm a little bit now and talk about where I think we are as a nation and what's going on out there, because I see all of this destruction, all of this craziness, people yelling and screaming, jumping up and down, pissing their pants, can't do anything right. And the reality is very simple. You can tell a person's character by how well they stick with their core beliefs in who they are. If over the last 5 years, 6 years, you've been a climate person and you've been telling us how important it is that we live green and we go green and that we're loving to one another and that you need to buy electric vehicles and do, solar panels, and the climate is the number one thing, you can't now come out and start burning the very products that one of the brightest minds in the industry when it comes to climate change, electric vehicles, the future of the environment, somebody that is incredibly gifted that you used to worship, now you can't stand, because they have signed on to help your government find waste and fraud. Now, where's this waste and fraud coming from? Well, it's coming from big, bloated, fat ass, overbearing government over the last 20 years that has decided that your hard-earned tax dollars were going to go from everything for sex change operations to Sesame Street in Iraq, to trying to determine gender fluidity in mice, to it goes on and on and on. Free housing, free insurance for people that are here illegally. It just doesn't stop. And if you have any question and you have even just a little sliver of honor in you, you should go to the Doge website, DOGE, the government website there, and look at the insane list of wasted money that your tax dollars are going to, coming out of your pocket, not allowing you to build for your retirement, not allowing you to provide for your family at the levels you should be able to, not allowing you to buy nice new things that you want or go on trips or vacations. The money has been wasted. Now, if you're a far left 20% whack job liberal, I get it. You don't want to know about it because you're just reveling in the fact that there's a little bit of turmoil happening right now, and you're going to seize that moment to really have an impact. You're going to put all your shit on social media. Trump's the devil. Elon is evil. He's a Nazi, which is all bullshit. It's totally and complete nonsense to the other 75% of the country that realizes that in order for us to get to where we want to get to, there is going to be some sacrifice. But every single one of the nations that has been fleecing us with tariffs has already reached back out to the White House and is actively negotiating with them to work the tariff deals out. Let me repeat that. Every single nation that we have hit with retaliatory tariffs has reached back out to the United States government and is actively trying to work through the tariffs to get this taken care of. Now, what does that mean for us? Could mean lots of things. Could mean a balanced budget. God forbid we have a balanced budget. Could mean maybe in the future we don't have a federal income tax. Imagine that. 13, 14, 20,000 extra dollars in your pocket because tariffs and trade are paying instead of your hard-earned tax dollars. Now, is that a definite thing? Absolutely not. Who the hell knows? But the one thing I do know is unless you get your ass to a position where it's a possibility, it'll never be a probability. It'll never happen if you don't start doing these things on the front side to help set yourself up on the back side. You work your ass up on the front, you get the benefits on the back. So yeah, the stock market is capitulating. I'm not excited about that, but I understand we're 2 months into this. And what goes down is going to always go back up. And at some point, it'll go back down. And then it's going to go back up. If you look at the 50, 60-year track record of Wall Street, it always ends up going up, up, up. And imagine not having a federal income tax or having zero Social Security's tax or having a balanced budget where our seniors, which we're not that far away from, let's be honest, we're not that far away from that, have an opportunity to retire with an actual check that allows them to retire with dignity, have a nice home, be on vacation, buy some things. That's what we're working for. We're not working for all this other stuff. Now, without any of the sacrifice on the front side, we can just keep on grinding that sausage out, that garbage tasting ass sausage, and make it count. But if we work on this side to get it done with some of the brightest minds this world has ever known, let's be clear about that. Elon Musk and the people he's got around him send rockets into space. They save astronauts. They create energy. They create battery-operated cars. They are the future. They are bright. They're not stupid. And they're also not getting paid to do this. And I think Elon is worth about $400 billion, just like our president's worth $1 billion. They're not doing this for money for themselves. They can already buy the damn planet. They don't need more money. This is for people like you and me that are grinding every damn day, trying to figure out what we can do just to get a little bit more ahead of where we are. And you know what? I need tax cuts. I want to keep more of my own money. I want to make sure when I retire, my Social Security checks are much bigger than they could be right now because we don't have any money. We're flat ass broke. So I hope Doge finds trillions of dollars of waste, which they are doing, and then we can get these stupid district judges to stop getting in and obstructing this president's agenda. Nobody elected these judges. Nobody elected these judges to come in here and start at the district level tearing apart the president's agenda. That's not what their job is to do. but they're doing it, and they're doing it at unbelievable rates. They're trying to stop. They're putting up roadblocks. They want illegal gang members coming back into our country because they don't like the fact that Trump wants all these illegal gangbangers out of our country. Did you ever think in one moment of your life that there would be an entire party, not a crazy communist party or the socialist party, a national party that was upset that we are getting rid of Tren de Aragua, MS-13, murderers, drug dealers, rapists? We had wide open borders. They flowed in through the last administration by the hundreds of thousands, by the millions. And now we're getting them off our streets, making our streets safer, making our entire environment safer. And you've got a national party that is upset about it. And they're fighting it every step of the damn way. They're fighting it. They want these activist district judges to step into the void and stop this insanity of trying to make our streets safer, trying to make our children safer, trying to stop this crime in the wide open border. How dare us want to get rid of the lowest common denominators in our society that, by the way, not only rape, kill, and rob us to death, okay? They're mooching off the system. We're paying them to be here. It's insanity, and it's got to stop. And that's what this administration's doing. Did you ever think for one second that there'd be a national party that would be fighting against this stuff? How about fighting against the fact that we're finding all of this amazing waste, fraud, and abuse with our tax dollars? But instead of being thankful or jumping on board and going, this is something we can all agree on, stop wasting all of our damn money. They're fighting. They actually are out there burning Teslas and wrecking dealerships and encouraging violence against Tesla owners. Guys, they're fighting the 80-20 rule on the 20% side, and that's why they're a joke. They're a joke. Now, the mainstream media is going to do everything they can to make it seem like everything's falling apart. It's not. Matter of fact, it's never been stronger. The vocal minority is going to literally act like they're being exorcised. Exorcisms are happening all across this country. They can't stand it. But the reality is fraud, waste, and abuse is starting to get under control. And we have a closed border. Last month, we added 248,000 jobs, way surpassing what the pundits thought would be there. We are on a great path. Things are happening in a very positive manner, and we should be rejoicing. So all the noise that's coming from the far, far left, all the whack jobs, the crazy people, don't pay attention to it. Don't even acknowledge it. Rest assured that in time, if we stick to what we're doing, we're all going to get great benefits from this, and it's going to make our lives, and more importantly than our lives, our children's lives much, much better. We need to stop giving schools money to indoctrinate kids. They need to get their ass in there and learn how to read, write, and do arithmetic. And they need to be competitive. Okay? China's kicking our ass in school. The Scandinavian nations are kicking our ass in school. But while Europe has got its own crosses it has to bear, they're literally losing their entire culture because of unfettered immigration. We have a chance here in the United States to fix all of this on the front side. And we're getting that done. Now, I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't know or they're unsure. Their character is being rattled because they see all of this bullshit on CNN and MSNBC and, the Wall Street Journal. I don't know what the hell happened to the Wall Street Journal. It's a shit show over there right now. They're terrible. They're reporting almost like they're the new Drudge Report. It's embarrassing. Keep your mind focused. Pay attention. Do your research. Doge is working. The border is secure. The president is working. He's playing 4D chess. He ain't playing checkers. This man is playing at a whole nother level. And trust me, the art of the deal, it's happening right now. Is it going to be purty? No, it's not. But great tasting sausage gets made really ugly. And then you eat it and you love it. This is something that we've needed for decades. And it's finally here. So stand proud, stand tall, and make sure that when you're going into the storm, you're prepared for all of the bullshit that you're going to face because it's out there everywhere. It's good to be back. I love you guys. Please make sure to share, subscribe, let people know what's going on out here. It's a crazy world we live in. And I just hope to be a little voice of sanity in the confusion that's out there. Love one another. Be thankful for every minute. And share this with the folks. Like, subscribe, share. Let them know that Into the Storm is out here. We're getting close to that 100 subscribers, and as soon as we get to that, I think we can change our handle to Into the Storm instead of Ken Nowitzki 7 or whatever the hell it is. It's out there. But little baby steps, and hopefully I'm going to have my daughter on again. People seem to like having Peyton on. She's beautiful. She's young. She's smart. She's conservative, and she's got great opinions, and it's great to have her around. I'm so fortunate to have her around. And, daddy's girls in town and under the roof. So I love it. So love you guys. Have an amazing Saturday. Enjoy the weather. Have an even better Sunday. If you get a chance, go to church and give thanks to the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And be safe out there. The world's kind of a crazy place right now, but we'll go into the storm together. God bless you guys. I'll see you again next time on Into the Storm on the Excellence in Podcasting Network. Like, share, subscribe. All the best, guys. Love you.